All right, so far we've talked about signing in, signing out, adding and removing data, setting and updating, and no database would be complete without, you guessed it, finding data. So we put data up in Firebase. How do you actually find it? You don't know really what you're looking for, you just want to go get it. Something that matches some sort of pattern, like a select statement in an actual database. That's what we're going to cover in this tutorial. So we're going to be working off our previous examples. We're just going to add 2 more buttons down here. And let's actually go ahead and do that. Grab our row, and then add this. And let's say find data and find range. And I'm just going to null these out real quick. And as you can see, we've got our 2 buttons. So very simply, we're going to find data, which will find a specific key in this map. And then we're going to find range, which finds a range of keys in this map. Let's flip here, and we're going to go into our database. I'm going to actually kill that app just in case. Now we're going to start with find data here. We're going to say future. And in here, we'll say find data, string user, and string key. So we're looking for a specific key is really what we're getting at here. We'll say database reference. We'll call this message ref. And we'll say message ref. We want the Firebase database .instance .reference, and we want the child, and of course it has a string path. So from here we're going to say messages / and let's go user. So there is the root of where we are searching. Say string value. Now we want to actually make a query. So we'll say query. And we want something that's equal to. Now notice this is a dynamic value with a string key, so it knows what we're trying to do here. So we're going to add our dynamic value, and then we're going to give it the actual key here. So what's going on under the hood here is we've got a string value, and it's going to return a query object, but it's also going to assign that value here if it finds it. Then we're going to say await, and we're going to query this one time, and we're going to say then, want a data snapshot. Remember, a snapshot is just a slice of time inside the database itself. And we're going to say the value is the snapshot value. And we're simply going to return that value out. Pretty simple, pretty easy to understand. That's how we would actually just get data in there. Now we want to find a range. Now range is a little bit different. We're just going to actually grab this whole thing. It's going to follow a similar pattern where we're going to say string user, string key, got our database reference, and then we are going to get that reference here in the child. Now we've got our string value, and now we've got a query, and we're saying message ref, and we're going to actually end at this time. It's a little bit different than SQL, right? You're not saying select star from blah, 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 blah. You can say begin at, end at. So in this case, we're just going to do an end at, and we want to end at whatever key we're giving it. Then we're just going to await a query once, and we're going to get the snapshot, and same thing, we're just going to return the value out. So it's really not super complex. It follows the same design concept here. Let's go into our application, and we need to add in the code here for find and find range. And we're just going to say string key. And we'll say string value equal await. And we want the Firebase database. And we're going to find data. We've already got a reference to our username, and we're just going to give it the key. I'm going to set state. And we're just going to say the status equals the value. Grab that. And let's do a find range. Okay, so we've got find range, string key. In this case, we're going to say find range, same signature, so we really don't have to change anything there. Let's go ahead and go in here, and let's play around with this. We're just going to pick on key 2 here. And we'll do the same thing here. That way we can see fundamentally what is the difference. Let's pull up that. See our data set really hasn't changed. There's key 2 right here, and this is what we're going to be grabbing. Save this. Let's run it. Should take just a few minutes to kick this out to the emulator. All right, so we are signed in. We could probably just get rid of these, but I'm going to keep them there in case somebody wants to play around with the counter code. Let's bring up Firebase, and let's find data. You can see key 2, this is the updated value right here, bang. Notice it's in JSON format. Now it's not exactly JSON format. Notice there are missing quotes. So if you try to parse that, you're going to get a little error. So you have to write a little module to parse that out. It's really not a big deal. It's just not well formed. I suspect in the future that's going to change. Just be aware of that little gotcha. Now find range is a little different. When we click find range, see this is an updated value. Let's go in here and see what we boo-booed. Let's set this to key 12. Why not? Oh, that's why it's find data, not find range. We can fix that. Let's set this back to 2. Save and reload. Go to Firebase. And we're going to do find range. As you can see, find range does a lot more. We did end at. So what it's going to do is it's going to start at the database and just start going through. Now you notice how this is not in order and it seems kind of jumbled up. So it's really going in the order that is written in Firebase, not the order that is presented on the screen.